Each and every day, enjoy the Simple Six menu at Subway, an entire made-for-you meal featuring one of 6 6-inch sandwiches like the Italian BMT or Black Forest ham, with any bag of chips and a 21-ounce drink, all for only $6. Subway. Eat fresh.
The BS Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects. The BS Report. The BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Hello, everyone. We're in Austin, Texas, South by Southwest, doing a slew of podcasts, and Rembert Browne was available.
I'm here.
Because he works for Grantland. I don't know how we got him. We have a bunch of guests coming up, though. You'll see many of the names in the YouTube clips. But you just met Obama, who's the biggest name in the mall.
I did. We want to just jump right into it?
Yeah, let's jump right into it. You wrote a piece on Monday about riding Air Force One with President Barack Obama.
Yeah. It was one of those things when I was writing it. I think that was one of the first moments it actually kicked in, when I had to write out, like, not only did I get to talk to Obama, but I got to talk to Obama en route to Selma.
Yeah.
And I got to talk to Obama en route to Selma on Air Force One. I was like, oh, that actually happened yesterday.
Yeah.
That was my Sunday, like, reliving Saturday, which was like a top 3 moment. I don't know what those other 2 moments, like probably prom.
One probably involved some girl.
Yeah, and then Obama. Yeah, I mean, I can't.
It wasn't seeing Prince at the Jordan party? Jordan Brand party?
Seeing Prince do 5 encores.
You're welcome.
Prince. The way Prince would end his songs over the All-Star Weekend at his show was he would just say, "You're welcome," which is the greatest way.
I'm going to end every podcast that way.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
It's even cooler, though, when you are like 5'1", and you're like maybe a top 10 living guitarist. Like, it really works when, like, I don't know if it will work as well.
So he's just surrounded himself with females now. That's like his new... Wait,
are we talking about Obama?
Yeah, we're talking about Obama. Yeah.
Yeah, Obama.
Let's go back. Let's circle backwards. So the Obama's people decide that they're going to take 5 journalists with them.
Yes.
From Virginia to Selma.
Yes.
And you were invited to be one of the 5.
Yeah, I was at the office. You were at the office in New York.
Yeah.
And we were on our way to lunch, and I just got an email from the White House.
Yeah.
Which I've not gotten before. So
yeah.
I did the thing where I sent her an email back telling her asking her if I could call her back after lunch. Which I thought was kind of like a dumb,
like it.
Like a power move on my part. Like
total power move.
Like I have, I have a job.
Yeah.
And she wrote back immediately and was like, "Can I call you back in 2 minutes?" Which further let me know that this was maybe a serious thing. And she laid it all out there from the jump. She was like, "We want to know if you have time in your schedule to talk to the president on Air Force One en route to Selma, and I need an answer in a couple hours."
And you said, "I'm single and I don't have kids." I'm in.
I was like, "This is what I want," and it.
Well, can we go for your backstory with the Obama?
I've so many backstories. Like I have the backstory of applying for a job and not getting it. In large part.
Well, you kind of almost did get it.
I almost got it. It was around the same time I got this job. I was desperately trying to leave grad school. Like, I was trying to do whatever I could do to leave grad school. And one of those things was apply for a job as a blogger for his re-election campaign. And later
This is 2011.
Yeah, it's 2011, summer 2011. And I later found out one of the reasons that I may not have gotten that job was when I had my own personal blog, I wrote some stuff where I was kind of making fun of Obama.
Oh no!
Yeah, just treating him like a pop culture figure, like
making fun of his basketball game.
Yeah, and that somewhere along the line that may have gotten red flagged as someone that we might not want aligned with the campaign. So
if they had hired you. And then one of the sites that loves to kind of push buttons would have been like, Obama hires political blogger for a campaign who made these 5 jokes about Obama.
He also doesn't have a birth certificate. Like, they probably would have done that too.
Right.
But, I didn't get that, and that was like a month before I started freelancing here.
Yeah.
So this is like August 2011.
Yep.
And before that, when I was in college, I worked on the Hill for Ted Kennedy, and
Ted Kennedy, one of my favorites.
Teddy,
Hey, can somebody drive it home? Come on.
No.
I've been making Ted Kennedy jokes for 30 years.
No, I can't make that joke with you.
Hey, I had this poster in college, this picture frame of the three Kennedys. Robert, Jack, and Teddy. And they're all dressed up, and they're outside, and they're like walking somewhere, and one of them's talking, and we used to just make up fake dialogue for the picture. So Marilyn's in the back room. Anyway.
I love Ted.
Me too.
Ted.
Giant head.
Ted, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Hugest head
Biggest head I've
anyone's
ever
had.
seen.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like a boulder on a tiny hill.
Like, so right now, because we've lost Ted now.
We can talk about him. He doesn't care.
Al Sharpton has the biggest head I've ever seen.
Oh.
Living. He has the largest living head. But before that.
Well, Barry Bonds for like 5 years had it, but then it went back to normal size.
We're talking about natural heads.
Yeah,
we're talking about no help with how big that head is. Anyway.
Yeah.
Obama. We're talking about Obama.
Yeah. So you're just saying your political background.
Yeah. And I was working in D.C. on the Hill, a bright-eyed sophomore in college when he announced he was running for president. And I used to just like wander the Senate and like see if he would ever be in his office. That was like 4 months of my life. So yeah, there was a lot of build up to getting that email.
And you've had, I don't want to say love-hate relationship, but it hasn't been 100% approval rating from Rembert Browne over the last 7 years.
There's
been some frustrating moments.
There have been some frustrating moments. Some, the same way, people that love you or you love, disappoint you.
Like me and Belichick when he didn't re-sign Darrelle Revis, but I got over it.
Exact same analogy.
Yeah.
Me and Obama, you and Revis.
Yeah.
No, you and Belichick. But yeah, but still, even when I begin to falter, he does something. And I think deep down he knows he can still get everyone.
Yeah.
If he does something, like 80% will come back and be like, that's my guy.
Well, we were both disappointed that he kind of sat out Ferguson for the most part. And that to me, at the point of his, it's year 6 basically.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. You didn't like it.
Which informed.
But now he's moved into second semester senior year Obama, which I love second semester senior Obama.
Like, it's at the point where I'm surprised he's even wearing a suit. I'm surprised he's not wearing some one of those Urban Outfitters shirts that has his face on it. It's just like it's incredible. Like I was trying to give some insight into kind of the mood on the plane.
Jovial.
Just relaxed.
Yeah.
Like you would never guess they were en route to a very serious event.
Yeah.
In which he had to make probably one of the landmark speeches of his second term.
And a place that gave him the best picture of his term, of both
100%.
terms. That picture was awesome. That's like
incredible.
a big framer. He'll put that over his Dan and wherever he ends up.
But we were on the plane for.
Well, wait, hold on.
Okay, let's.
So now they have to do a background check, right? You have to hold the secret information that this plane is taking off at this point.
They told me
Only
not to.
like 10 people know.
They told me not to say anything. We even kept it quiet within the site because not out of fear of someone would say anything. But it's like when the White House tells you to keep stuff on the low. At this point, I'm already assuming they're reading my text. Ever since I got that email, I was like, okay, so they're just gonna be following me up.
I noticed
Saturday.
a black car outside of my house for about 48 hours beforehand.
When I asked you if I could do it, they started
all of a sudden that
following
helicopter's
you.
like, what? Helicopters?
So yeah, we had to keep it very quiet, and of the things I've had to keep quiet in my life, that was of the hardest ones. Just not being able to just walk outside of our office and tell everyone what I was doing. I went to D.C. on Thursday, and people were like, "Why are you in D.C.?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm going to Selma." And about half of the people just said, "Oh, okay." And then everyone else was like, "Why didn't you just go from New York?" And I would just be like,
Then you're like, why all these questions?
yeah, I'm like, why are you in D.C.? And they're like, I live here.
I'll go where I want.
Yeah, just shut up. But so that it got actually by like Friday, it got fun.
Yeah.
Because I was getting antsy. It was like I want this to happen now.
So the plane's the biggest thing you've ever seen.
Biggest
in your
thing
life?
I've ever seen.
Like
it's
a
like
UFO spaceship kind
it's like it genuinely looked like everything was a little more swole than a normal plane. Like the wings looked like they had muscles. And like the body of the plane looked like it was jacked. Like it looked like it had swallowed another plane. And it was, you know, we got dropped off in a shuttle in this Air Force base, and it's just like the only thing you see, and it takes up your entire like scope.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, okay, they're about to actually let me get on this plane, which was another recurring thought. Like, I can't believe they're letting me get on this
How
plane.
many steps was it from like the bottom all the way to when you walk in? Like 50?
It was like 30.
Jesus.
And they have like a separate stairway for like where the family. That's like a mile down the road on the other side of the plane.
The family and Jay-Z.
And Jay, yeah. They get to go on. They get to go on the other side of the plane, which I never. Like we watched like the first family go on the plane, and it felt like they were in another universe.
Was like 10% of you hoping Michelle was just going to come on and be like, Rembert!
Well,
I just want to say, I love Rembert Explains. The cocktail was excellent. Cocktail one.
House Seats 5. Whatever happened to House Seats 4?
Yeah. Is House Seats 4 coming out?
But the mood was so relaxed.
Yeah.
I was starting to prepare myself for who else might show. It was getting really sitcom-y, where there was this hallway, and we never knew who was going to come into our cabin until they appeared. And
see, Kevin Hart was in play.
He's just.
Look at this plane, it's so big!
So much bigger than me. This plane.
It's huge!
The first two people that came in were both people from the cabinet that I knew.
Yeah.
That I knew of. Susan Rice, the National Security Advisor, and Valerie Jarrett, his like personal aide. So I started off 2 for 2.
Yeah.
I was like, who else is?
We should mention you wear a tie, which I respected, and I thought that was the right move.
I brought 6 ties with me, and I felt like I was going on a job interview.
Right.
And that was siphoning all of my swag out.
Yeah.
Like the fact that I was like, I felt like I was going to be like my voice was just going to start trembling. So
right.
I needed to psych myself in. I needed to feel
you felt like you
I
were
belonged.
interviewing for a 9th grade prep school or something.
Yeah, like I felt like
I'm
not at Andover.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I felt like it gave me like 10 more years of experience. Like, yeah, I've been on this plane before.
Yeah.
It's a lot of just like lying to yourself. The whole experience was just me lying to myself, which helped because it went well.
And acting like you've been there before, even though you've obviously never been there before.
We talked about that.
Yeah. That was my one piece of advice too.
Yeah.
Act like you've been there before. Even though that's impossible.
No, it's completely impossible.
The worst thing you do in those situations is just be like, oh, and seem like you're a tourist.
Yeah, I mean, I do think the one thing that helped me, and I've written about this, is how like one of my few cardinal rules when I'm dealing with famous people is to never ask for a picture.
Yeah.
So having that mentality helped me in that scenario. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to go talk to him, and then I'll go back to my seat. This is how I always get to Alabama.
So did you get to talk to him before you asked him the question? Like, was there interaction?
So this did happen. This feels like an alley-oop what you just gave me. When I walked in, we were being introduced by name as we came in.
Yeah.
So like there was this guy Josh Ernest. He's one of the press secretaries. He was coming in and he would be like, "This is Rembert Browne, And I shook his hand and I said, "Hi, I'm Rembert Browne from Grantland." Put it in his head.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Oh, I love Grantland."
Yeah.
I immediately checked my bank account to see if I just like immediately gotten a raise after doing that. Like my direct deposit came in. So that was big.
Yeah.
Because no one else. I mean, I wanted him. There were some things that I wanted to implant in him before he answered my question.
Yeah.
I wanted him to know where I worked, so because I thought that might
trigger something
or frame what the audience is or frame how he answers it. And
you could see that you were young, which is a good thing.
Yeah, and in my question, like one of the freakouts I was having, because I had this question, but I had written 50 iterations of this question. I was like,
which is what you wrote about.
I wanted him to know. I didn't need him to know at my exact age, but I wanted him to kind of have a sense of my relationship with his presidency. So I said in the question that somehow that he had been president since I was in college.
Yeah.
So that, even though that doesn't give a specific age, he has a sense of, because I'm asking this question about that's very much a generational question about, the idea of going into politics and, wanting to say what you feel or do what you want, but not always getting to do that because of all these outside factors. I wanted him to have the context of why I was asking that,
Did you feel like he had a look on his face like, I'm glad somebody finally asked me this?
I think, it was the one answer, and all the questions were good. Most of them felt like questions that he already had talking points for.
Or he had heard in the past, or some variation.
Yeah. So this, even though he was very comfortable answering it, it felt like something that he got to use a different part of his brain for, because there wasn't, that's not in the same family of questions that you prep for when you were only being interviewed by people typically 20 years older than me.
I liked your backup question. How would you compare and contrast you and Reggie Love to Simmons and House?
If we went around again,
a second. Is House your Reggie Love, or is Reggie Love? No, there's some way to say that. Anyway,
I think that, speaking of, Reggie Love has...
Reggie Love versus House.
You know how we talk about how Ahmad has all the stories?
You think Reggie Love has more of them?
Reggie Love has... I don't know if he has more, but he has a different collection of all the stories. Like, between Reggie Love and Ahmad Rashad, those are all of the stories.
I would say he's on pace to become this generation's Ahmad. Isn't he under... How old could he be? Like mid-40s?
Reggie Love?
How old is he?
No, Reggie Love's like 32.
Is he that old?
That young.
That young?
Yeah.
He's only a couple years older than you.
Yeah, I know. Like,
I guess you're right.
Yeah, I mean, at most he's in his mid-30s. But
that's what it is. He's in his mid-30s.
But
So you're on the plane for like 45, 50 minutes.
Yeah.
You're going 1,200 miles an hour?
We're just passing by states.
Yeah.
I forgot this part. In all of the things I didn't know about traveling on Air Force One thing that I learned, you have to pay to go on Air Force One. It is a plane.
No freebies on Air Force One.
It is a plane with a seat, and like all other planes with seats, you got to pay for it. And when...
We'll cover that.
Appreciate
Don't
that.
you pay for that.
I really appreciate that. I kept that receipt.
Expense that. We got it.
But yeah, that's just not something that ever factored to my brain, that it's like a real plane. But yeah.
So then you land. You're in Selma.
No.
Oh, you're close to Selma?
We
Near Selma?
land in Montgomery, which is like an hour away from Selma. We land on like another Air Force base.
Yeah.
And then we go down the stairs, and there are these 4 Nighthawk helicopters waiting for us.
Oh.
Which is now stage 2 of me pretending like I don't mind air travel.
I forgot. You wrote about this.
I don't like being in the air.
Helicopters are a little freaky.
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
And it was also like, I'd never really been in a killing machine before.
Yeah.
Like they look like they just like end communities. They just come through and just
right.
They don't look friendly.
Yeah.
And I was like, again, I was still in like trying to be cool mode. So when we sat down, on our seats were like these little things that I thought were mints. And I was like, I just like kind of scooted it over.
And it was
and then
cyanide.
I realized they were earplugs. And I wasn't really paying attention, and then I saw everyone just like quickly, and I was like 5 seconds too late because the thing started. It was like the loudest thing I've ever heard. And yeah,
louder than the Hawks crowds lately, or no?
Even louder than the Hawks crowds.
Wow.
Even louder than Kyle Korver hitting a 3 and the crowd
Hitting
going.
a backbreaking 3 with 2 minutes left.
So yeah, it was, and we were just like kind of, you could see the other helicopters. So we take those to like outside of Selma.
Yeah.
And then we get out of the helicopters and we file into probably like an 80-car motorcade that takes us directly to the bridge. And that was also very cool.
And you'd never been there, right? Had you?
I haven't been to Selma, no.
Yeah.
I've been to Montgomery. I was trying to think back if we went on like a class trip or something, because it's not that far from Atlanta. But no, I'd never been. And, this was like actually very funny. So the motorcade is going and it drops us off at the foot of, like steps away from where he's making the speech, right in front of the bridge with the entire crowd. And as soon, like they told us this in email, so like once you're in Selma, you're on your own. Like we're not taking you back.
It's like what's that movie, The Surge? No, the Purge.
The Purge, yeah. It's
Purge?
like, it's over. Like it's like that's it. And
Yeah.
so I had that in my mind, but they very much meant it. Like as soon as we got our bag out of that car and like stepped away, like I turned around and they were all gone. Like I tried to send an email trying to like get into a different section, no reply.
No. Yeah.
Like they were just like, we got you here. Like, don't ever call us again. Like we all changed our numbers. They were all burners. So that was like very funny, but I loved it. It was amazing. And then the speech was great.
Really good speech.
There were a ton of people there. Like there were so many people there. But yeah, and then
Then you drove
got
to
a ride with
Atlanta.
Kang.
Jake Kang, original Grantlander.
Got a ride with Kang,
Another historical figure who's gotten better in age.
Jake Kang, God bless him. This was actually now funny for about 20 minutes. Like kind of ex-Grantland writer, now New York Times Magazine writer, Jake Kang
I
gave
don't like
me.
calling him an ex-Grantland.
I don't like that either. I take that back.
How about original Grantland?
Original?
Yeah, original. OG Grantland.
First wave.
First wave Grantland.
Jake Kang gave me a ride to Montgomery because that's where he was staying. They're like there's like Selma's as big as this room.
Yeah.
And so there are no hotels.
Yeah.
So most people were staying in Montgomery.
Which I can't imagine is Manhattan either.
No.
Yeah.
Also, there are 2 ways to get to Montgomery, and one is by crossing that bridge, and the bridge was closed. So there was one way to get to
low
Montgomery. And at that point, as we were driving, I was like, well, I'm in Montgomery. I'm really close to, and it was like 10.
Yeah.
It's like I'm really close to like my mom's house. Like I should just get there instead of like that would be a wasted being in the South opportunity if I didn't like get to say hey. So I found another friend who was going all the way to Atlanta. So he picked me up.
How do you find friends who are like? That's the part about you I'll never understand.
I'm
it's
not
like you're
really,
you're like a walking Craigslist.
I'm just like.
You're going to Atlanta.
I got a lead. I'm a good reporter.
Sniffed it out.
I follow leads about my own travel really well.
So now all of a sudden you're on your way to Atlanta to see your mom.
Yeah, but there was like this 20-minute window when Kang left and my friend Matthew picked me up where I was just sitting in this diner in very rural Alabama. And I was like, I really hope my friend Matt comes because I don't want to be in this diner forever.
Jeez.
So yeah. But yeah.
Not a sponsor of the BS Report. The Rural Diner.
The Rural Diner.
So then you went to Atlanta and your mom had no idea.
Didn't tell her. I told her I was going to Selma, but didn't tell her anything else. And she was very happy with me. That was a good son moment. I was like, Mom, I got you a certificate.
It's nice when your parents are proud.
Yeah, it was really good. And I showed her this certificate. They gave you like a certificate. Like, if it, no disrespect to the White House, like this is like, it was like a very clip art, cheesy looking certificate. Like this thing is not like, it was just straight up Times New Roman.
Yeah.
Just Microsoft like.
Didn't even go Helvetica.
No, just but I showed it to my mom. She was very happy, and then I started putting it back in my bag, and she was like, "No, like that's mine." I was like, "You're right. It's like a diploma."
She took it. I like it.
That's her. That's her certificate.
So that'll now be like
I'll just
in the living room, or
it'll be above all of my consolation tennis trophies and fourth place 3-point contest basketball trophies.
My dad, there's a bathroom in the first floor of his house when you walk in, and they have like 4 things framed of me in that bathroom. So you just can't escape that I'm related to them. Anywhere you go, even when you're taking a piss. And it makes me so mad. But I guess that's what parents do.
You can't, you're going to do the same thing.
Of course I'm going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, my son's probably going to be a professional wrestler, but...
You're going to have his title belts everywhere.
Yeah. I'm like, here's when Ben won the Intercontinental title.
The 8 and under Intercontinental title.
Here's when Ben won the Royal Rumble. Well, that's a great story.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you'll remember that one 50 years from now.
That's not going anywhere. It was really interesting to, like, I can openly acknowledge it is not sunk in yet. I think it will, like, in 2 weeks. That process of it happening and then turning around the next day and writing about it.
I can't wait for you to lose all objectivity toward Obama in the last 18 months now. Because he's in now. You're in.
Oh, yeah?
You get suckered in.
Yeah.
You're like in the entourage now.
Yeah, I mean...
How could you ever think anything other than great things about him?
It's going to be really hard for me to say something bad. I'm going to try, though, because I'm a serious
Push yourself.
Journalist.
Yeah. This is what sports teams do. It's like NBA teams, like with the local bloggers.
Yeah.
You know, the GM will take one of them out to lunch once, and
like
they'll write 40 straight flattering stories about them.
How everyone has like Beats headphones on. It's basically the same thing. That's what Obama just did.
That's true.
He neutralized me.
That's what Obama's going to do in the last year of his campaign and stuff like that.
Give everyone
Obama Beats. He's going to start monetizing it.
Based on the relaxed nature of that play, I would not be surprised. He's just like comes out with like a barbecue sauce line.
He did mean tweets on Kimmel last night.
That
was kind of ballsy.
If you think about it, even though he has a year and a half left, once everyone's only talking about the election, like his window of being like the thing that matters goes up until everyone is only concerned with the elections. That's like a couple months. So
it's going to be the most fascinating post-presidency career.
Yeah, like
I'm really interested to see what happens. And I think his wife could end up becoming the new Oprah, basically. I think she could have this morning show. I could see her at the 9 a.m. morning show just killing people.
Michelle's in game. Michelle's like long game might be cooler than Barack's.
Right now, she'd have the most watched morning show. She'd just snap her fingers, set.
Yeah.
An announcer, she's ready to go.
I would
with a 5 rating.
She just hooks up with Shonda, and they just take over
Oh my
the
God.
world.
By that time, Shonda will be president.
Yeah, that's true.
She'll at least be president of ABC.
Yeah,
Of every
that hasn't happened
show
yet.
on the network.
That
I
hasn't
think she
happened yet.
basically is.
Yeah, she's shadow president.
Can we talk about your experiences with South by Southwest since we're at South by Southwest?
Yes.
Your first one was 2012, and you had an awesome time, and you wrote some great stuff.
A really funny thing is for people to talk about how much they are over things, like South by Southwest, like it's so blah blah.
They're kicking the corpse.
It's,
Yeah.
So many brands, like whatever. Like this is like one of my favorite weeks.
I'm gonna pour some sparkling water as we talk.
Wow. That's Obama. That's sponsored by Obama. That's Obama water.
I'm also at the tail end of my term, and I also don't care.
That's funny.
Thank you.
I love this weekend. It's a nice way to get out of. It's still cold in New York.
What's wrong with this weekend?
There's nothing wrong with it. There's
interesting
nothing
people
wrong with
here,
it.
and there's tech and music and movies, and like, why would anybody not like this?
I run into friends. Saw Yoshida last night.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing. I'm
Barbecue.
wearing barbecue. I'm wearing
Cigarettes.
shorts. We won shuffleboard like 4 times yesterday.
Jacoby. Yeah.
Just out there taking names. I love it.
Well, also, Austin's the best.
Austin's great. It's like
It's the one part of Texas that they actually should charge state income tax for. The other places, no, but here, I think they could get away with charging more.
I do like Dallas a lot.
Really?
I like Dallas.
I don't get Dallas. I just need somebody to really walk me through why I should like Dallas, and that hasn't happened yet. Been there twice.
Yeah, Houston. No disrespect to Shea Serrano. It's an
acquired taste.
it takes a while. It's not always as warm back to you as you would like it to be.
It's a little spread out.
Yeah.
It's kind of like LA without the weather.
Like you remember the All-Star game in Orlando, how everything was spread out? And then they had it in
Ludicrously
Houston.
so.
Same thing. But no, I love this weekend.
We never talked about San Antonio. Now they're going to get all mad. I don't think San Antonio can be rated with the other cities because, it's trapped in 1989.
San Antonio, just terrible. But
not terrible.
the water. Wait, what was it? The waterfront?
Oh yeah, the waterfront.
The thing about San Antonio, the sneaky great thing about San Antonio, it's not terrible. The sneaky great thing about San Antonio, an hour from Austin.
Yep, that's great. Margaritas.
Yeah, riverboats.
Didn't mind the food.
Yeah.
All right, we have to go.
We're going.
Rembert Browne, congrats on another career highlight.
Hey, just knocking them off.
We should mention you have your own podcast.
Yeah,
that started a few months ago.
I have my own podcast, Rembert Explains.
Rembert Explains. You explain stuff.
I'm doing some panels here. I still write. I don't know. I'm just out here being a Grantland employee.
Yeah,
that's what I do.
All right, make sure you expense us for stuff. Don't be afraid.
Okay.
for the Air Force One. All right, more from South by Southwest coming up. You're welcome.
That should be your sign off forever now.
So I get to sign off. Whoa!
Thank you for downloading the BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at Podcenter at ESPNRadio.com.
Peace out.
Geico presents Strange Saving Stories. Astronomers detected an interstellar transmission. It stated, Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more. The implications were staggering. Was the cosmos telling us we could all save hundreds on car insurance with Geico? Or did their radar merely pick up a signal from the nearby Rufus and Clyde's morning show? We may never know.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.